How was your college experience?
It was cool. First and foremost, right on. I appreciate that. It was cool. I got to play where I'm from. I'm from South Bend. So, I grew up, my hometown is 8 minutes,
Really?
My house, childhood home. And so I always wanted to go to Notre Dame too.
Okay.
And I grew up watching, actually, Neil Ivy.
Yes.
They won a championship with Ruth Riley. This was back in 2001. And so I remember in the city, just the excitement around, first off, Indiana basketball. Because if you grew up in Indiana, you're gonna hoop.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And so just seeing Notre Dame be good, being from there, and then having a full circle moment. When I was in the 8th grade, Coach McGraw offered me. And just to have that opportunity, to not only be a fan for all those years, but like you said, having that full circle moment of dang, I could play in front of my granny.
Yeah.
I could play in front of my mom and, everybody from my alma mater in high school. And, it wasn't the popular thing to do either back then.
To stay home.
At that point in time where Notre Dame was as a program, this was before a lot of all the guard you and stuff like that. We did have prominent players that came out of there consistently, but we weren't in the Final Fours or competing for championships like that. And so my mom, it was people saying, you gonna let her go there? She ain't gonna go to the Tennessees or the UConns. But I really wanted to pave my own way in that sense and not be afraid to okay, go to your hometown school, then you can represent and you can put them back on the map because, that was really a goal of mine. And so it was cool to see, and it is cool to see the success still to this day of the program for it to continue to be prominent. We out here in Unrivaled and you see it's 6 guards from Notre Dame and that's something that I'm really proud of and to see it continue to be great. Neil is just awesome.
Yes.
She's dope. And we got some dogs this year too that we might continue to make noise.
Y'all got some dogs.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
We got a few that come to mind.
No, for sure.
But no, it was cool for me. And obviously I got to meet my husband. I got 2 kids now. And so it's that wouldn't have happened, And so, yeah, it's cool being there, getting to go back there and feeling like you met everybody from the city part when I was younger and then the Notre Dame part and kind of making that connection and bridging that gap there.
So it felt like home. Right away.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Yeah.
That's good. When you were in college, obviously it's completely different now. So you knew going to college, I'm going to be this, were you always a girly girl? Since
I never really considered myself a girly girl. I just think it was a lot of misconceptions surrounding basketball.
Yeah.
And what you had to be or what you had to look like or how you had to maybe carry yourself.
Right.
And, I've always been the one I'm an instinctual person. I live off instincts. I don't have to be following the trends or, things like that, paving my own way, if you will, kind of moving to the beat of my own drum. But, I guess that's how maybe non-basketball audiences were slowly starting to be introduced around that time too, when it got popping in college.
Yeah.
It was when Twitter started blowing up and all that stuff. And so a lot of non-basketball, traditional basketball audiences were being introduced in that sense and seeing it in a different light as far as entertainment and really an important part now how big it is in pop culture.
Yeah.
Where, we set the trends, we set the slang, we set the fashion, all that now. And that really, they didn't really see it, the W in specific like that either.
Yeah.
When we came, we looked like accountants. We had on business suits and all that. It's that's how we dressed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nobody standing there taking your picture when you came in the tunnel either.
So y'all were dressing up?
Yeah, we've been had the fashion.
Oh,
I remember when the W started. Look, back in my day. But I remember when the W started. It's always been fashions in the W. But really, it wasn't nobody taking pictures. But I think that having to dress like business women, you know, and business casual. And nowadays, how we switch it up, it's business, but it's high fashion in it too. And not just you dressing like you just about to go sit in a C-suite level, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying we have more flavor to it now. And more people are looking for us in that sense now. And so the game has changed so much and it's gonna continue to evolve.
Yeah.
And you guys have a lot to do with that and you know it. And so it's exciting to see what it is now compared to what it was, just with everything.
Yeah.
I came in the league when it was probably 15 or 16 years in.
Yeah.
And, that's still extremely young, and we still are extremely young as an association. And, but yeah, no, it's cool now to see, I've been in since 2013.
Yeah.
And, the fashion part of it is what I like, but just the connection to the fans, I still think we are the most accessible.
Yes.
And how we connect with people and how we get that message out. And so it's cool to be a part of it.
When was your first like moment you were like, wow, like the other people outside of the basketball world were so entertained with you? Because you had the music industry, like you was doing it before we were doing it.
You know what? And that's really what it was like when I came out and signed to Rock Nation Sports.
Right.
That was the first time something like that had been done from an entertainment
side,
you know, label, if you will, but like in the entertainment industry. And so moving over from music to sports world, and okay, now we're gonna manage. And so it really was a big leap of faith to take because they hadn't done it before. But just with that team, starting with Jay and just the team over there, Janet Fleischman, like everybody is great, Desiree Juan Perez, everybody over there at Rock Nation. I just believed in their vision.
Yeah.
And it really placed me in different spaces that you really didn't see us in at the time. And, you know, I appreciate them for that because it introduced us to certain audiences, or reintroduced, rather, just placed me in certain, to have that visibility for people to say, oh, okay, and then she a hooper, and then this and this, okay. And so it positioned me in different places that you normally didn't see us in.
Yeah. How old were you around that? Well, did it happen like in college?
Yeah,
or,
like in college was when it kind of blew up. So it was my sophomore year, really, when we went to the Final Four. We went to the Final Four in 2011. It was in Indiana.
What happened?
And that was a big deal because Notre Dame is in Indiana. And so everybody came down. And what happened was we played one of the greatest of all time, Maya.
Right.
And UConn. And, you know, they just been buzzsawing through teams through the tournament. And it was a big game. And that was her last game. We ended up winning that game. And a lot of attention, obviously, at the time. And to this day, UConn, they don't lose a lot. You know that. And so it was a really big thing back then because it was Maya's last game. A lot of people were tuned in, played really well, and that's kind of how I got popping in there.
Yeah.
You know, and then just continued to play since until then. We went to the championship and went to a few Final Fours after that.
Yeah.
And then signing to Rock Nation when I first got out, I didn't go overseas, and that was like a big deal at the time because nobody didn't go overseas. Everybody went overseas and hooped, and you knew you were going to get a bag.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go overseas and play. And my rookie year wasn't good.
Right.
Like my rookie year, I might have averaged like 9 points. Like I struggled. I came off the bench some. I got benched. I played in Tulsa.
Yeah.
You know, it was struggling as an organization. So I got a lot of criticism for that.
Yeah.
But with that, I was able to move around and do
What were you
things.
doing?
Did a lot of marketing stuff.
Yeah.
The things we talked about, like moving, you know, going to different events, going to different carpets, just being in different audiences, doing different, going to different award show carpets.
Yes.
Just different things, you know. Fashion week, stuff like that, that I wouldn't have been able to get to, but it really just introduced me to different audiences and helped me with that brand building part, which is really important to me if you know, seeing yourself as a brand, building yourself outside the game of basketball.
Did you feel the pressure of going into year two like you didn't, since you didn't play overseas? Have you ever been overseas?
Yeah, no.
You've never been?
No, okay. I've never been overseas.
You kind of told yourself, like I told myself, like I never want to go overseas.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's different times too, and I think I signed to go overseas. Like it was my third year, I was killing, I signed, and I tore my ACL. Then I was like, oh, it ain't meant to be. Like, I just think I ain't going overseas. It wasn't meant to be for me. But my second year, I came back and made first team. And that was a big deal because I went back to Notre Dame and was hooping, you know, just kind of found my love for the game again. I was down on myself. And so I had to go back home. And I got to hoop, you know, at Notre Dame and just found my love again, found a passion for it. And play against some good competition at the time, and then came back to the W. And I was physically ready. You know, I was lifting, I got my body ready. I was getting some good bump at Notre Dame, and so it really made the difference for me. But it was a confidence thing. It was all above the neck for me. We know we can play this game, but I think you have to have that first year of adjustment where you see, and you got to see that this year. We're like, okay, you find your little niche, you know what I'm saying? And what your coach wants you to do, what the organization needs from you. You know, just building off your natural abilities and being able to highlight that and the opportunity. Yeah. You know, and so it really, the experience is the best teacher. You can't get it unless you get it. Yeah. And so I think that was really eye-opening for me, just getting to see that first, because it wasn't sweet. Yeah.
The Unapologetically Angel Show is now sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 10 million active members. The NBA season is heating up, and PrizePicks is the best place to get real money action
while watching your favorite sports.
Think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers next week? Anthony Edwards for more than 27 points? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. I have always been all in on Steph and his threes. I am also all in on my guy Tyler Hero, scoring more than 20 points and more than 3 rebounds in each game this week. Go Heat. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Make your basketball season better with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. Have I mentioned Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. Yep, that's right, as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday. Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code ANGEL, ANGEL, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code ANGEL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game.